What's going on, YouTube and fellow FPL managers? International Break 1 is just one day away from finishing now, and Game Week 5 is just around the corner. Congratulations on making it this far, and I am so excited to get into Game Week 5. It has been a long international break for sure. So I thought I would take this opportunity to recap how I did in Game Week 4 and look ahead to Game Week 5 and beyond, and the potential of using the wild card in the near future, players I'm looking to bring in, and who I think could potentially have a decent run of fixtures over the next few game weeks. So if we hop into Game Week 4, you can see another disappointing week for me. Another red arrow, 2.2 million game week rank, only 47 points. If we look at the player performances, the defense continuing to provide the points, with midfield struggling, Mkhitaryan and Bernardo Silva starting from the bench in game week 4. Really disappointing. I had such high hopes when I brought them both in, and they just aren't living up to their price tags. So change needs to come quickly. The forward line supplying a decent amount of points this last game week. Tosin again blanked. He's just, in my opinion, not a viable FPL asset anymore. I thought with the good fixtures that he would be able to take advantage, but it's quite obvious that he's playing in more of a reserved role with the wingers, Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin in the last game week, and Walcott being the ones getting forward and creating most of the goal-scoring opportunities. Same can be said for Firmino. He's dropping deep. Salah and Mane are taking up those forward spots. So those are not the type of attackers you want to have in your FPL team. You want selfish players who are going to create the opportunities and take the opportunities themselves. Players that are dropping deep and creating opportunities for others, not exactly the best FPL assets as far as attackers go. Pedro came off the bench to score for Chelsea, which was a bright spot in my game week, not only for the FPL team, but also crucial in Chelsea getting their 4th consecutive win, which I was, of course, very excited about. Mohamed Salah had his first blank of the season in game week 4. I've seen a lot of people debating if this is now the time to drop Salah, which I can't really understand that thinking. In his first 3 game weeks, he had 8, 9, and 8. They're not the double-digit figures we were used to last season, but I think he'll get there. I think the season is still really young, and I can't quite understand the logic behind wanting to transfer Salah out after one bad game week. Liverpool's fixtures are difficult, I get that, but the way Liverpool like to press, the way that they take it to the top 6, there's goals in any given game. You can't say that Liverpool attackers aren't good options just because they're playing in difficult fixtures. You have to always respect that they are going to score points or have the potential to score points in any given game week. So, all in all, it was a disappointing game week again after a good start to this season. We see a really good first 2 weeks, and then drop off here in the last 2. But it's time to get going, turn that around, and to start climbing the ranks again. I'm just inside the top 100K now. You can see based on my previous seasons, I am happy with that. I want to be scoring a little bit higher consistently in the game weeks, but if I can stay right around this rank, I will be extremely happy. I can't complain too much. So I thought we would look ahead now to my game week 5 plans. It took me a lot of debate over this international break about whether or not to use the wild card, and I have decided against using the wild card for game week 5, mostly because there are some fixtures that I wasn't so comfortable bringing players in with this week, and I don't think the team is really that bad. I think a lot of people would look at it and say that it needs some major surgery. But Bernardo Silva and Mkhitaryan are, of course, now rotation risks. Bernardo Silva playing Fulham at home. I mean, if he plays, that's an excellent fixture. So I'm fine with keeping him in the team. Mkhitaryan away to Newcastle. Newcastle, quite unfortunate to lose to Chelsea 2 game weeks ago, and then put up a good fight against City last game week. Newcastle's defense is difficult to break down. Rafa Benitez knows how to put out a solid defensive block, so it's still a good fixture for Arsenal, I think. I don't trust that Mkhitaryan will play, and if he does, I'm not too convinced that he will score points. But I can't justify taking hits at this point because I do intend on playing the wild card after Game Week 5 for Game Week 6. And if I was going to take hits this week, it would probably be to try to get Alonso in. And in order to do that, I have to take a -8 hit. And I'm just not willing to do that on the back of using the wild card in Game Week 6. So now I thought I would go through a potential wildcard draft I am looking at for Game Week 6 after the team performs in this upcoming Game Week 5. Like I said earlier, Firmino, he's dropped in price. He's not really informed. Tosin, not really taking it to the defense like I would want. Bernardo Silva, Mkhitaryan, and Pedro, all potential rotation risks now. And Alonso is just killing me without being in the team. So I have to make those changes with the wild card to prevent more red arrows and hopefully to start getting some more positive results. I think 5 game weeks is a good sample size now to know who we need in the team, who's in form, and who has the potential to really bring in a lot of points over these next 5 to 10 game weeks or so. So let's go through the wildcard team I am really considering right now. I think this team is what I will go with come Saturday. Or at least come Saturday, what I will probably do is as soon as the first match has started and game week 6 team selection is available, I'll play the wild card and just bring in a bunch of players I think have potential to rise in price to try to capitalize on that. And then towards the end of the week, Friday, right before Game Week 6, I'll actually bring in this team I'm about to show you. It's a little bit of a change in system, I admit. I am not really a proponent of 4 at the back, especially 4 at the back in the way I'm going to show you here in a second, but with the fixtures coming up and with where the points are so far this season, I think that this is a decent move and kind of a differential move that might see me climb some ranks. So I'm kind of excited to show you this team, and I don't know. I think it has potential to score big. So let's get right into it. Obviously, Alonso needs to come in. He's burned me for 4 weeks now. It'd be my luck that his luck runs out, but Chelsea's fixtures are still okay, and I think that he's kind of a template player now. You kind of need him. So here's a pick that might be a little bit risky and really defines my playstyle over the next 4 to 5 weeks. That's Kieran Trippier. The sole reason I am bringing Trippier in at this point is look at these fixtures. Brighton, Huddersfield, Cardiff, and West Ham. I just am intending on playing this back four for these 4 to capitalize on these 4 fixtures. I worry a little bit about rotation with the Champions League. To continue on the Spurs theme, I have decided to include Lucas Moura in this wildcard team. I debated Heung-min Son, but I think Moura is the safer pick for now. I need to see Son play a few games before I feel comfortable picking him. But Son is a player I do love to pick in FPL. He is one of those. He's not selfish, but he loves to just put his head down and go for goal, which are the type of players you love to have in your team. The next midfielder to go along with Mora is Richarlison. This guy is red hot right now. He scored a brace on his international debut for Brazil wearing the 9 shirt. You just can't bet against this guy right now. He's got such great form behind him. Everton's fixtures are okay now. They were great. He missed some great fixtures, but they're okay now. I back him to continue to score and to continue to be a huge part of Everton's attack. The fourth and final midfielder I'm bringing in is Bournemouth's Ryan Fraser. He's just an excellent budget option at this point. Obviously, he's got a little bit of an injury concern for this week. However, by game week 6, I'm pretty confident he'll be okay. Another option I considered in that price range is Damari Gray because of Lex. Another option I considered in that price range was Damari Gray because of how good Leicester's fixtures are. But I'm not quite confident in Gray. He's a little raw still. If he catches some form, then he'll probably come into my team, especially when Bournemouth's fixtures get a little bit more difficult, and they do get difficult, and that's right around game week 11. Leicester's are good at that point. So Fraser for now, but there's potential for Damari Gray and maybe a few others. We'll have to see how Bournemouth do over the next 4 or 5 game weeks. Now moving into the attack, the first option I'm going to bring in is Mitrovic. He just has the potential to score against anybody, I think. He's a very unique striker. Big, strong, powerful, always a threat inside the box. I would not be surprised if he scores against City this weekend, but I just wasn't comfortable bringing him in for that fixture. So, I'm going to wait 1 extra week, bring him in for game week 6 and beyond. He's really good value for money. Zaha has a little bit of an injury concern. Arnautovic, West Ham have started so bad. In that 6.57 mil budget price range, I think that he's the best option right now. And Fulham love to attack. Doesn't matter who they're playing, they love to attack. There's always going to be chances for Mitrovic. Playing along Vieto and Andre Schürrle. Great service. You just can't bet against this guy to get on the score sheet any given game week. So I'm excited to bring him in. The third option up top is Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson's underlying stats are fantastic. I'm pretty sure he has close to, if not the most touches in the opposition penalty box. And he's really up there on shots on goal too. He's just creating so many opportunities for himself, and Bournemouth are getting so many good chances that partnership of Fraser and Wilson is really, really, really beneficial right now. And I think you should take advantage of it while you can, which is probably, like we showed earlier, until game week. I think it was 10 or 11 when the fixtures get a little bit more difficult for Bournemouth. So now, going into defense, again, I kind of built this wildcard team around Spurs' good run of fixtures, those 4 fixtures. So initially I was planning on including Hugo Lloris. Unfortunately, he's picked up an injury. I haven't really seen for sure how severe this injury is. I've seen 2 to 3 weeks. I've seen 4+. So I was looking around at other options, and I decided that, these fixtures are good enough that I entrust Vorm to handle them fine. So I'm going to pick the backup Vorm. Like I said, I don't know how long Lloris will be out, but I'll just partner Joe Hart alongside Vorm, so if Vorm does happen to sit out, Hart will slide in. So again, the idea behind this wildcard team is to capitalize on Spurs' good fixtures over the next 4, after game week 6 that is, and then to make transfers after that. The transfers I'm looking at making are to actually drop both the Spurs players in midfield and defense I brought in, to bring in the likes of the highest scoring midfielder in FPL right now, Sadio Mane, And then a budget option in defense will pick Ryan Bennett, even though he just rose in price. And this will be in game week 9 when Liverpool's fixtures change from Chelsea and City to Huddersfield and Cardiff. I think at this point, you know the Arsenal fixture is what it is, but the fixtures are so good for Liverpool that it's important probably to double up on Salah and Mane at this point, with Richarlison being the third midfielder. And actually Fraser coming in as the fourth at that point. But so yeah, Trippier and Lucas Moura from game week 6 until game week probably 8, and then for game week 9 I will bring in Mane. Yeah, game week 9 for Huddersfield, and then at some point Vorm will probably drop out for maybe Fabianski. I think once West Ham's fixtures turn, Fabianski will become a reliable option in net again. And I can't quite remember exactly when that is, but maybe game week 10 around there? Yeah, around game week 10, the fixtures get really easy for Fabianski, so one City fixture in there, but yeah, so this will be like game week 10 on. So hopefully this team is as template as possible. You know, we've had a sample size now to be able to see who looks essential, who looks like they need to be in your team, have such high ownership that if you don't have them, they're really going to hurt you. And I think that this gives me a lot of flexibility. You know, I can downgrade a defender to upgrade a midfielder. I can downgrade one of my midfielders to upgrade the attack. It offers me some good resources with a pretty strong bench to have a lot of flexibility in the team, which over these first 4 game weeks my team bench has been just so bad that if one person doesn't play, then I'm taking a 0, and as a FPL manager that's just so frustrating. So yeah, I think that's going to pretty much do it for the video today. Just wanted to go over what game week 4 looked like, and of course look ahead to game week 5. No intention on using the wild card, and then game week 6 gonna use it then. Hopefully the team that I'm planning is everything I hope it is, and it looks like there's potential for price rises in Wilson and Mitrovic over the next few days. I hope not. My team is pretty close on budget as is, so I can't really afford too many price rises. So hopefully I get a little lucky with that and these players don't rise. But I think that is pretty much going to do it for this update video. Got to give a quick shout out to everyone in this league. Just got to make sure I stay on top here and that I keep seeing green arrows in this league, or hopefully no arrows at all as I hold that one position. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next FPL update.